Hi, hello. As you saw today, we are going to be discussing the Red, White, and Royal Blue movie. Now, I know I don't talk about Red, White, and Royal Blue a whole lot on this channel, but I do really love this book. It was actually the first book that I ever pre-ordered simply based on the premise. To be completely honest, I did not love the cover at the time. I still kind of don't. Like, it's fine, but we've talked about cartoon covers before, but I absolutely love this book. And it has been well loved. I would say that that little fold was me, but it wasn't. It came like that. So I probably do need to get a new copy because it's had the kind of yellowing, and I will be rereading before the movie. I did read this again last year with my romance and book club, but I feel like it's time for a refresh, and we'll probably do that here with you all. I have this History shirt that was released in like 2019 for charity, and I've been very excited about this project. However, in the last couple of months, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've become very nervous about this movie, especially considering how confident I was in this based on the fact that a playwright was attached to the project. So we've been seeing a lot of buzz about it. I haven't dug into all of the buzz coming out because I was starting to get kind of nervous, but I also didn't want to make judgments based on what was coming out. I wanted to still believe in what we were going to get and not build up too much hype. So this is a very popular romance novel and a gay rom-com that broke through in a way that we really hadn't seen before. And we're going to see where this adaptation falls on the spectrum of like Bridgerton and The Hating Game, I guess. Though I will remind myself that I did like the finished product of The Hating Game much better than the trailer led me to believe I would like it. Though going back to the source material on that, I had a much different experience the second time around versus the first. But I will stop stalling here and let's dig right into it. I have put this off for days and you have probably all already seen this, so it is time to get it going. Okay, here they are.
The royal wedding, simple instructions.
Oh, I'm gonna have secondhand
Don't cause an international incident.
How's it going?
You've done some pretty stupid things in your day, but this...
Takes the cake?
No, takes the cake. That...
Henry shoved me.
An urge I currently share.
Oh, there's an accent there.
What I need is some good
Which makes
old-fashioned
sense.
damage control.
The White House and the palace are going to release a joint statement.
You've got to be joking.
You can hate Prince Henry all you want.
My NDA is bigger than yours. I want you to know that. You're wearing lifts. Know that too, sweetheart.
You better act like the sun shines out of his ass and you have a vitamin D deficiency.
I thought is what you might say to convince the world that we're actually friends. I love hanging out with this guy. We never have to see each other again. You're expected at my New Year's party.
New Year's party.
Did I do something wrong? Do you ever wonder who you'd be if you were an anonymous person in the world? I have no idea what you're talking about. You're as thick as it gets.
Oh, the karaoke's gonna be there.
Yourself, Your Majesty. It's Your Royal Highness. Oh. Dear Alex, I miss you. That's what I really want. Good morning.
We are in a hotel crawling with reporters. If anyone sees you leave this hotel, I will Brexit your head from your body. Your Royal Highness.
You need to figure out if you feel forever about him. Do you love him?
What difference would it make if I did?
I want someone to love.
Prince Henry belongs to Britain.
I need.
We can figure out a way to love each other on our own terms. It's like there's a rope attached to my chest and it keeps pulling me towards you.
Hopefully we'll get through tonight without any more scandals.
The night is young, Ma.
That's what I want.
Okay, I will say the R rating actually gives me a lot of hope. That seems weird to say, but it feels like it's going to keep with the tone of the book. I do have a little bit more sense of the chemistry between these two in this trailer that I felt like we've gotten from some of the images and the little snippets of scenes that I've seen so far. Now, granted, a lot of that could be editing, and honestly, I think that the editing should work for that. Obviously, there are going to be moments of kind of awkwardness and discomfort, as there should should be based on the kind of plotting of things. The cake scene is going to be hard for me to watch in terms of like that awkwardness and secondhand embarrassment, because it was hard for me to read for the same reason. A couple of things in this trailer that are making me nervous because it seems like it's cut in a way to confirm some things I had seen online, in that it doesn't seem like there's going to be any June or Nora in here, which if true is going to be a huge loss. It also seems like we are cutting, unless they just didn't show it, the Raphael Luna stuff and all of the political stuff going on. I assume we still have a re-election campaign at the heart of things, though it's odd that the trailer didn't mention that as part of the stakes of why these two need to seem like they're getting along, especially because that's such a huge moment in the book, though I am glad to see that huge moments from the book, like the New Year's Eve party, seem to be left intact. I am sad if we're losing that politics plotline because it gives Alex a little bit more depth in addition to Nora and June, because we see that banter, but it's this idea of Alex just kind of living his life in this kind of banter, fast-paced, and how we see him get to know himself a lot better through the course of the book and through his relationship with Henry, and have to be able to articulate things in a whole new way. It does seem to my kind of initial impressions of the trailer that I am leaning more toward the emotional intimacy and earnestness part of things than the initial kind of antagonism and banter from like the enemies to lovers kind of standpoint, which we all kind of knew in reading that we had to get through, I think. And maybe the kind of stiffness that's translating there is just one, how it's cut and it's supposed to feel that kind of awkward. Maybe that awkwardness has always been there all along and that's part and parcel. I will say in my first watching of the trailer, and then I kind of did a speed run through to kind of see visuals, I don't think I caught, so correct me if I'm wrong, because inevitably you always catch things that I have not caught, but I didn't see any visual hints of our Alexander Hamilton scene, if you know what I'm talking about, which is one of my favorite scenes, so I do hope that that's there. I was really pleasantly surprised to see that it looks like we're going to get the karaoke scene. However, if June and Nora and the friend group isn't part of that, I don't know what that's going to look like. I really think I'm going to miss that dynamic because this book has such great secondary characters and I will just miss them, but I do think it makes sense in terms of translating to the screen, in terms of streamlining the storytelling, that we do really need to focus on Alex and Henry. I'll be interested to see what the two character journeys look like within the shape of the script. Henry crying was a great shot, and that feels weird to say. In the book, obviously, we have Alex kind of coming to terms with his sexuality for the first time, and I don't know if we're gonna have that as part of the exploration here or not. I don't know. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know what I'm feeling yet. I am both really excited about this, but also don't know if we're stripping some of the originality from it. And I just love the book so much, as so many do, that I am just going to be nervous until we get it. And I recognize that the movie is going to need to be something different than the book in some ways. So I think that there are changes in the script that I'm just gonna have to come to terms with. It's gonna be a matter of if these changes serve the story that the movie is focusing on or not, and whether that tension remains, whether that humor remains, and whether the heart of things remains. I do think it's interesting because there doesn't seem to be any indication, unless again I missed it, of one of the most iconic bits, you know, the history, of it all, which I find interesting because that tells me that they are marketing the movie to people that aren't associated with the book or aren't already fans of the book, because if they were leaning into that, they would be trying to convert book fans. However, I also think this makes sense, and I don't have any PR, marketing degrees, any of it, but they know on some level that either the book fans are going to be on board or they're not. There are going to be book fans that just aren't interested. So here, they're really reaching out to people that aren't familiar with the book, which I know from within the book community feels like such a weird thing to say because this book has been everywhere. It was a TikTok darling. It's had immense success and it's well known for book lovers, but there are still audiences that don't have familiarity with this. So that's who the trailer's aimed at for me. I do love the Little Nas X, though the book fan in me would have loved just a little snippet of Get Low, but again, that's playing into book fans. I do think it's interesting in terms of the rating because it does seem to imply to book fans that there are going to be things intact, and it also feels like it's feeling out a new kind of romance landscape for viewers and a new kind of rom-com. I'll be interested to see where this lies in the current rom-com landscape, while also feeling in conversation with a lot of the rom-com comes from the golden age, or, you know, when I was a teenager, so it feels like the golden age. The Prince and Me, First Daughter, like that whole genre, my date with the president's daughter, if you will. So I'm interested to see what's going to be here. I think a lot is going to be relying, or writing, I should say, on how earnest this feels. I don't know how the balance between comedy and seriousness is going to play out in this. I didn't really get the full sense of it here because it really seemed to be playing into the Alex and Henry dynamic. It did show a lot of President Claremont as well, so hopefully we'll get more of that mother-son relationship and the PowerPoint, but I will be very interested in how zoomed in this feels versus how big. We got little hints of the big on Henry's side and what the stakes were for him, but we weren't really getting the same for Alex here. And so are they there? I wonder if we're really focusing on the Henry side of it in the trailer, at least, because I don't know what the final cut of this looks like, because it feels the most relatable for viewers in terms of what we've seen playing out with Harry and Meghan. But also, if we really are focusing on these two, then we're gonna have to build out the stakes on both sides to kind of keep things going. I don't know, I'm looking at the lighting at the New Year's Eve scene again, the outside in the snow bit of the scene, you know, the first kiss scene, spoiler alert, but it's very well lit. So hopefully within the context of the scene as we see it in the movie, that makes sense, because for some reason that's making it feel a little cheaper to me as a viewer, unless we have like a practical explanation, whether, you know, the floodlights are on outside for the party or whatever, for why that is so bright. However, in a media landscape where we're often complaining about how dark everything looks and how we can't see things, that feels like such a petty gripe. I'm also going back to some of the stills from the karaoke scene, and there are other people at that table, so I don't want to write off all hopes for our friend group yet. Again, I haven't been deep in the kind of lead up to this drop, so I don't know a lot of the rumors that are flying about the production. I do think I had seen a rumor a long time ago that those characters might have been cut, and so that's where I'm kind of sitting, but maybe their roles have just been slightly reduced to kind of focus more in, kind of streamline the narrative on Alex and Henry. I don't know. If you do know, let me know below. At the same time, based on a lot of these shots within the Alex and Henry storyline, it does feel like we are going to be getting a lot, if not all, I can't speak in absolutes, of the big moments of their relationship from the book. So we will see. I am cautiously optimistic just because I don't want to be heartbroken for any reason, but I also want to underscore how big this movie is. So very excited to see what we get here. We will probably reread the book before this drops, and we will obviously talk about the movie after, kind of reconvene, but I'm very interested to hear what everyone is thinking about this, so let me know. I know my thoughts have been kind of jumping all over the place on this one, but just trying to get my mind around what I think this is gonna be. So let me know your thoughts, what you're excited for, if you have any reservations, if you've read the book or not. So hopefully I will see you again soon in regards to Red, White, and Royal Blue, but thanks for hanging out and listening to my thoughts. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever you're feeling in this moment. Read something good, and yeah, bye.